All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol Nndm, Nano Dimensions. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we dive into this chart, I do want every single investor and viewer to be aware that I have a new ticker symbol you won't want to miss, and you definitely want to add this one to your watch list. So stay tuned for more information on that. So much potential within the sector it's in, and all the different ticker symbols in that sector that it could be comparable to. So stay tuned for all that information. I also want to announce to everyone that I will have a Patreon as early as tomorrow or sometime later this week, and it's completely optional to join. It's a great way to further support the channel and all the effort that I do and all the information that I share. But most importantly, it's going to be a place where we can build a community to further discuss some of these ticker symbols that I share with you guys towards the end of these videos. You guys will be able to know it firsthand through Patreon once I start researching it, and we can research it together, discuss back and forth in the comment section or however it works for us to discuss about it in the Patreon. I'm going to learn more about it, and I should be launching it soon. And there's going to be great information apart from knowing firsthand these ticker symbols that I share towards the end of the video. As soon as I start researching them, there's going to be so much other things I will be sharing with you guys about charts, stocks, and everything as I further develop the Patreon. So stay tuned for more of that towards this week, right? Hopefully starting tomorrow or sometime later this week. Nano Dimensions, right? And Nndm. Downward trend. So I did a video already talking about the offering. When I found out about it, I just hadn't had time to talk about it. So I shared my thoughts on it, how I felt about it, and what we were waiting for to this point. So we wanted to know if ARK Invest bought more, and we wanted to know our support and resistance, right? So we're going to look at that now here as I further go into this, right? As we further discuss this. So the 50-day moving average is very important. It's literally $15. It says $14.99 to be exact, but $15. I like to round it up. We're going to look at this chart in just a moment in a broader perspective and our resistance and support. But let's talk about the position of ARK. But I do want you guys to be aware of this 50-day moving average. So this was today, ARK W. So let's not even look at that number so we don't get confused. ARK W on the 12th, right? That was Friday. They had 4,927,308 shares. So if we go over here and we look at ARK W 16th, which is today, they have 6,058,036 shares in total. So they went up 1 million shares, which was reasonable and expected if this offering was happening. And Nano Dimensions is truly bullish and has been this bullish up to this point. And they believed in the company. They were going to load up. So it's very impressive and interesting to see this, that they loaded up 1 million shares on ARK W. So they've been loading up more now on ARK W, and ARK Q, they've been I was about to say uploading. They've been unloading and loading more shares, right? Uploading is not a word for this, but unloading is. They've been unloading shares and loading up shares as they've been playing with ARK Q and ARK W. They've been, making their position grow. So very interesting. This passed the 5 million mark, and it's at 6 million now. Now, let's go ahead and look at our ARK Q. So ARK Q is here for the 16th. I want you guys to see that. And let's look at ARK Q on the 12th. ARK Q on the 12th, 7,126,513 shares. Okay, so when we look at ARK Q for today, the 16th, it's 7,265,057 shares. So they went up about 100,000 shares. They're taking it a little bit easier now on ARK Q. For some reason, they haven't been loading up that much. When you put it together, they have a total of 13 million shares right now. That's a pretty large position for one company, right? So the weight here on this one is almost 3%. It's 2.7. And on ARK W, the weight has gone up from 0.84 to almost 1%. You see? 0.93. So I think they're looking to make this in ARK W the weight of about maybe 1% over the long term, because remember, the weight isn't just in the shares, it's also in the market value. So it's going to be interesting where they see this falling. The fact that it's in ARK W and ARK Q, it's a very bold statement from ARK Invest all over the place. Now, I find it interesting that they loaded up over 1 million shares. In total, 1.1 million shares. I think that's like the largest position they have done at once. I think that's how much I've seen them buy, over the course of almost a week or 2 or 3 days. But man, that's a lot at once. So very bold of ARK Invest. We're going to have to see how this continues to play out. The offering doesn't close until the 18th. So what are we going to look for tomorrow, right? The day before. And also, what are we going to look for moving forward? I mean, we need to analyze the chart, how it plays off tomorrow. But let's look at this. So currently, we're below the 50-day moving average, right? The lowest point reached here, right, is all the way down here at 1368. And the offering is at a share price of like 1285, I think, 1280. If anybody wants to challenge that or correct that, you're more than welcome to. But I know it's in the $12 mark, the high $12 mark. So is there more room here, right? That's the big question. So we need to watch this carefully. Our support here is $14. We're currently at $14.62. If $14 gets broken through, the next support is down here at $13.68, $69, give or take. We want to watch how quickly is it moving down, or are the bulls trying to reappear? So I do want every single investor to be aware of this. Now, the lowest point reached in this whole entire trajectory of the downward trend, back upwards and now downwards, is down here at this point, and that was $12.96. I think that's where they got, or $12.97, give or take, 1 cent off there. So $12.97 to $12.96, give or take. I think that's where they got the idea of knowing, between the next support and that support, where to kind of land on the offering, right? The direct offering of 500 million. So they're hoping not to break through this. And if they do, we need to watch this very carefully, okay? So we're going to look more into that tomorrow. But right now, the lowest point I want every single investor to look at is $12.96, $12.97, give or take, and see how it's reacting if it breaks through this low here of $13.68, $13.67, give or take, and see how it's reacting within that area if the bulls try to reappear or the bears tearing this one down fairly fast. But the first support is $14. Now the resistance, if this momentum continues and the bulls just break right through this offering and they're like, we don't care about the offering, we're going to continue to load up, we want more shares, and we can't wait to see the next catalyst and what's going to come out of this, well, that resistance is 1481. Well, I want every single investor and viewer to be aware, though, that 1481 does not signify or guarantee that the bulls have gained control. They need to break through the 50-day moving average and the next resistance level way up here at 1572 to pull up significantly in the upward direction to reach newer highs and new resistance levels. But before getting to any of those numbers, 1481 does need to be broken through and turn into a support, but does not guarantee that the bulls have gained control. That's just an indicator for us investors to know where the momentum is going and a catalyst for the bulls to use as support to continue upwards. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. Stay tuned to the end because I do have a ticker symbol you definitely want to add to your watch list. Don't miss out on it. So for everyone that has stayed to this point in the video, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is a big opportunity. There's a lot out there, but this one is in a sector that the opportunity to the price per share, to the market cap, is just so undervalued because it's so fresh and new into the market, and also it's a growing company. Once it makes it just like the other big players in this sector, I mean, the opportunity will be big from this point moving outwards. So the potential here, according to this platform, their infrastructure and their business goals and everything that's projected about them, it's a big opportunity if everything obviously falls into place and so forth. So when I mean big, And you guys know I'm not hype. You guys know that I don't like to overinflate things or, make things seem bigger than they are. But I am here to emphasize that this stock is a big opportunity. So before we jump into the ticker symbol I'm going to share with you guys, I just want to quickly look here at Genius Brands. We talked about it yesterday, to add to your watch list. So this was at about 201 when market closed on Friday. So when I said this was a learning experience for anyone that didn't know or wasn't too familiar with it, it was showing signs based off of different indicators like the RSI, the MACD, and also the closer moving average, that there was a possibility that this could start to work its way up. Well, it certainly did. It went from 201 all the way to 220. Quickly dropped right back down. So the volatility, you can see it there. Now, you want to continue watching this one going into the week because there is opportunity probably for this one to continue to do this type of movement as long as indicators are showing that. But right now, the ticker symbol is kind of fighting, right, to stay above that $2 mark, and it's coming right back down, and it's coming back pretty fast. I didn't think that it was going to come back that fast. I thought it would kind of consolidate a little bit higher, then probably pull back and then run back up, something like that throughout the week. And who knows, maybe it's pulling back to this point. More investors look at it as an opportunity, load up on shares and bring this one back up. So you want to continue watching this one carefully, but this is a very speculative play. So I want every single investor to be aware of that. So what ticker symbol is it that I want to talk about? Well, it is OZON. This is the ticker symbol you want to add to your watch list. This is the big opportunity. So here we are. You can see how this IPO'd, right, at around $40. It ran up to 50, came back down, and then it ran back up to 56, came back down to 46. From that point forward, it spiked up to 68, and it's cooling off. So the cool thing about this one is that when you zoom in, yes, you could see the subtle downward movement in a very slow fashion because it's only gone down $4. But when you zoom out, you can kind of see that it's consolidating. It's hanging out within this channel. It hasn't broken through the $62 mark, and it hasn't broken through the highest point here after that drop of $66, almost $67. So you want to watch this carefully. If it breaks through 62, it could start to hit newer lows. And if it continues to stay in this channel, all it takes is another catalyst for this to run up. Look how small the market cap is. And what are they? Well, they're an internet retailer. They are comparable to Jumia. And if you want to compare it to the top dogs, Shopify, Amazon, eBay, and so forth. Now, even when we go to eBay, eBay's pretty small. These guys have so much more room. So who is Ozon? Well, they are the Amazon of Russia. Pretty much. Based off the articles and everything that I've seen, that's pretty much what they are. I look forward to seeing what you guys find about this one. If you want to comment down below, I would appreciate it. Or what you have found if you already knew about this one. But very important to do some research here on this and not miss out on knowing more about it. Because look at eBay. eBay's market cap is 42 billion and it's in the 60s range. So yes, it's almost in the same type of sector, but this is even bigger. Ozon is even bigger. Look at that, 11 billion. So if this was to go into the 40 billion mark, just like eBay, like we could see here, 42, and it's going for 62 a share, there's probably more that goes into the market share, right, of these two different sectors, and then also the market cap and the price per share that make these valued differently. But once this hits like 40 billion, this is going to be upwards to, maybe 2x or 3x the current price. Think about that. So when we go to Jumia, let's see how Jumia is doing. Now, Jumia is comparable to this one. They're fresh, they're new. Jumia has a smaller market cap, and they're around the same price per share, right? So there's room here even for Jumia, right? This is awesome stuff here. Now, when you compare the two of them, some people will say that Jumia has a little bit less of an infrastructure or growth potential than Ozon. One is better than the other. That's more of a personal preference. But the top dog here that leads the whole pack is Amazon. Okay? Amazon leads the whole pack. Could these market caps of these companies reach these numbers? Possibly. It's going to take years, but it can possibly reach that. And if it even reaches half of that, just think about dividing this share price in half, or even to 1/3 of this total amount, and look at where these stocks are at. They're in the 60s. So much room here. So I definitely see big opportunity here. This is so fresh, and it started off at a nicer number than Jumia. That's another thing to consider. You know, it was priced in per share at a much better valuation than Jumia to start. Jumia was way back below $40. So this stock has started off, and if anyone that is an investor or viewer that remembers, you know, there might be some of you here watching my channel, when Amazon started, Amazon was around these prices, and it took years to get where it's at. But you know, I'm not saying these are possibly going to be just like Amazon and that they are like Amazon, but the potential is there. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.